All right, guys, Melissa here. I finally got some time to take it easy a little bit and do a video here at home. So, what's going on? What's going on in my life? Okay, there's a couple things I want to talk about. I'm slouching a little bit, but I'm going to stay like this. Couple things I want to talk about. So, I thought this would be helpful. Let's talk about Christian unity for a minute. What exactly does Christian unity mean? I had a situation and I had to really start thinking about what Christian unity means. I was working with a Christian lady at work, and we had gone out and she had quit. She just quit just like that. And it's not the type of job like where I've had a job where the boss is screaming because I had a question and he's doing dishes. The same boss that threw a knife at me when I was like 18, I had worked for him again, and I had walked out because he was screaming, and I'm like, I don't have to take this and I'm not going to, and I walked out. Not like that. A boss who you've asked to work there, you've asked for more hours, and the boss gives it to you. So she just didn't even call. And we're like, what happened to her? This is like day 4. And so I had talked to her in a text, and I'm like, I guess you're done. And she's like, yeah, I went and got another job. I'm like, hey, it would have been nice if you gave us a call. Well, I had to do what was best for me. I am going to sit up a minute. And I'm like, that's great that you're doing what's best for you, but you put us all under the bus while you did that. I said, we could have used you today. We were slammed. This was yesterday. We were slammed, and, you didn't even give us a notice. We were concerned about you, et cetera, et cetera. And she's like, well, yeah, well, I'm happy. And I'm like, what kind of conversation am I having with this person? I'm like, do they even understand at all what I am trying to say to them? Like there's some basic, let your boss know you don't want to work there or something. And she's like, well, I'd rather do a face to face. I'm like, you had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and you couldn't give us a call. So anyways, there's that. And then on my birthday, right? She's like, oh, let's go to the movies. Oh, let's go out to eat. Oh, let's go roller skating. I'm like, you said that it's important for people to keep their word, and you didn't even do anything for my birthday. In fact, she pretty much dishonored me with all these empty promises, right? So I didn't say anything because I had to be professional at work. But afterwards, I'm like, you didn't even do anything for my birthday. You can't even keep your word, So this is somebody who then lied to me last night and says, oh, well, I didn't expect you to pay me back for when we went to the Golden Corral. And I'm thinking, that's a lie because you said, next time you get it. And I said, yeah, we'll go to Broadmoor or something. So then she lied to me and then she tried to put God into it, right? And she's like, oh, well, God's opening doors and all this stuff. So, I mean, I really laid into her and I'm like, yeah, hopefully God will teach you to smarten up a little because this is how you act, right? So, I'm like, goodbye, and I try not to write people off too much because, when you're a kid, you're in school, and if a kid doesn't have the right sneakers or the right cool friends, people just write you off, right? And I try to stay in relationship. But I'm thinking, okay, she claims to be a Christian, and how do you deal with this? So I was praying about this morning, and I'm like, where is the unity, right? And something that helped me that might help you if you're a Christian, the unity is really in not just getting along, right, for the sake of getting along, but getting along in God, right? So we should reflect the Trinity, the Trinity. We should have oneness with what we believe in doctrine about God. It doesn't mean that you don't rebuke and extort others and, you know, exhort others, sorry. We are actually supposed to, if someone offends us, go to them and say, hey, this, what you did wasn't okay. And you're supposed to, work it out and say, well, I'm sorry. This is what I was thinking, or this is what I was going to do. And there should be quick reconciliation, quickly and promptly correct somebody about something, and you move on. You don't hold grudges, right? So that is the ideal situation. And I've been looking at the book of Ruth and how the godly relationships there are so important in the Bible. And someone said to me today, Melissa, you're always smiling, you're always happy. Most people who have gone through what you've gone through with missing your son, you lost your home, your husband, it's almost like the story of Job. They would fall apart, but here you are, determined, persevering, and you keep on going. So I just put in like 40 something hours. It's probably going to be close to 50 hours tomorrow of work. And I did this before, when right before we lost the home. I took a job at Dave and Buster's and another job, and I had 72 hours coming as I was being trained, and then I got sick. So when Kevin Leandro says I don't work, that's bull. That's baloney. So what I've done these last couple years is I've worked, off and on while making sure I had really good care with my divorce and making sure I knew my way around the south side. And then when we moved to the north side, going back to New Hampshire, a lot of time I needed for a lot of things and watching over my guys and making sure that they were adjusting well to dad just walking out. So now I'm on my feet again and I starting tomorrow I have the second job. So with that I'm going to have about probably 70 hours worth of work again. And of course as a homeschool mom when your husband wants you to stay home with your kids, that is the priority. It doesn't mean I didn't work hard when I stayed home. It meant that my main job was home, and then on top of that homeschooling, right? And for me homeschooling wasn't just buy some curriculum and here you go. It was no deep studying of a lot of stuff. So a deeper truth, guys, here is what is unity, right? What is it? And that's a very broad view of it's oneness in our, love for God, love for others, but it doesn't mean you put up with crap, guys. It doesn't. And like the book of Ruth, Naomi thought everything was taken from her, like Job, and she was bitter. And, in the story of Ruth, which I love, we see that God had a plan, and He always has a plan, ladies, no matter what you go through. If you love God, it says in Romans 8:28, everything works for your good. So I've talked on this channel a lot about helping yourself with getting resources, ladies, but whether you work or get resources, you can make it. You can make it with your family. And the other thing too is do something that nobody else does.